So good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon. My topic is environmental health impact assessment for the various projects. What do you mean by environmental health impact assessment? That is concerned to the environmental systematically identify the environmental health impacts of the proposed projects, plans, programs, legislative actions with respect to the physical environment, chemical environment, biological environment, radioactive environment, and socio-economical environment, and the cultural environment of the total environment. So environmental health impact assessment, the health impacts of the environment that is concerned to the air pollution, water pollution, land degradations, and LAW interrelations, ecological aspects, that is land, air, water interrelations. So they are considered in the projects, plans, programs, and legislative actions. Suppose if the environmental health impact assessment, for example, you take the certain power projects, nuclear power projects. You may ask, sir, why these nuclear power projects have needed this kind of environmental? Because it has considerable health impacts on the workers. That is psychological health impacts, physiological health impacts. The psychological health impacts of the workers get affected. For example, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the bomb blast affected workers, the psychological health impacts, the physiological health impacts, that is concerned to the brain damage, neurological disorders, psychological health impacts, and the physiological, the health impacts, the environmental health impacts of the proposed projects, they are considered in the projects. Because the oxygen amount and the nitrogen, phosphorus, and the very micronutrients, they are responsible for the respiration and the environmental health. When we inhale the oxygen and exhale the oxygen, carbon dioxide, so that time they have the imbalance in the the natural impacts. That is called environmental health impact assessment. So that is why the environmental health impact assessment for the various medical projects, psychological, brain affected workers, the brain damaged workers in the nuclear power plants, the the environmental physiological impacts, mental health for the workers, they are considered in the projects, in the proposed projects. Neurological, brain, Alzheimer affected workers, and the various other schizophrenia affected workers. And next, please. Next slide, please. Madam. The slides are not moving, madam. Yeah, environmental health impact assessment. So it is not directly related to the impacts on environment. It is related to the environmental health. Environmental health means the deoxygenation, the depletion of oxygen level in the atmosphere, maybe in the air or in the water or in the land. The oxygenation, re-aeration we call, re-aeration and deoxygenation. Re-aeration means addition of oxygen level from the atmosphere into the any aeration systems. That is oxygen addition in the, for example, in the human being, addition of oxygen in the air, addition of oxygen in the water, addition of oxygen in the human being. So we can call it is addition, that is re-aeration and the aeration and re-aeration. Addition of oxygen, that is called deoxygenation and re-aeration simultaneously, which have to be occur and which have to be optimized in a proper manner for the public health plans in order to recover the various kind of the disease, psychological disease and physiological disease. Psychology means mental health. So we call about mental health. The particular the project is the presentation is focus on the mental health of the workers, the mental health of the engineers in the nuclear power plants, in the various public health plans, in the various public health plans. Next, please. Next, please. So this also concerned to the sustainable development. The sustainable development, which is a kind of development that meets the needs of the present generations without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That is called sustainable neurological development, sustainable psychological development. So this particular project, the presentation is based on the psychological health, mental health of the workers. So that is why the sustainable development, or we can call environmental development, has to be considered. Next, please. Next, please. So the environmental pollution, previous slide, please. The environmental pollution, today we have so many kind of environmental pollution like air pollution, water pollution, radioactive pollution, noise pollution, surface water pollution, groundwater pollution, and architectural pollution, cultural effects, social economical impacts. So we require the eco-friendly technologies, eco-friendly methods in order to control the greenhouse gas effect impacts. GHG is equal to population multiplied by affluence multiplied by technology multiplied by environment and the sustainability factors. The ability to sustain ourselves for long time. The recycling and the composting technologies and the environmental safety technologies and the landfill, sustainable landfill technologies. So environmental pollution prevention safety mechanisms, they are shown in this particular slide, which has a considerable considerations of the environmental health impact assessment of the projects. Environmental health impact assessment of the plans, various plans, programs, parliamentary decisions, the various aspects of the decision-making process of the various companies in India or in abroad. So all these things we concerned about the, for example, nuclear power projects. Nuclear power projects have considerable impacts. For example, Winson Power Corporation, which I have investigated in China, they have absolutely free from the environmental health impacts. Why? Because they concerns about the psychological health impact assessment. Psychological health impact assessment means it is a systematic identification and evaluation of the potential psychological effects for the proposed projects, for the proposed plans, for the proposed nuclear power projects with respect to the physical, chemical environment, biological environment, radioactive environment, cultural aspects, and the social economical environment. So this have concern about the deoxygenation and re-aeration respectively, where the deoxygenation rate is equal to re-aeration rate, aerobic and anaerobic environment as well as facultative environment.
Habe hier jemanden laut sprechen, dann muss ich erstmal in Stilllegen.
Oxygenation and deoxygenation. Next, please. Next, please. So this is the environmental stress. Previous slide, please. This is the effect X is equal to environmental stress. Y is equal to environmental strain. So the effect of X, the environmental stress and environmental strain, which have the various, the behavior of the stress strain curve for the various kind of materials. So factor of safety. So safety means the safe working load for the various projects. So safe working load means the particular project, maybe the psychological projects or physiological projects, it should sustain for long time. It should sustain for long time. If it is not sustained for long time, means we cannot say we have concern about the environmental parameters. It is obvious. Why? Because it is sustainable development and environmental development. So because we have only focused on the economical and the social development. So it is obvious that the stress and strain, environmental stress and environmental strain, which are concerned about the engineering materials for the low carbon steel. Next, please. Next, please. So seed cotton. Now the seed cotton was ginned by the walrus 250 years before. So walrus become extinct. Man has used this walrus. You can see the walrus, animal skin, which has been used in this seed cotton ginning plants, and they have used. It's not sustainable, developed, and it has considerable environmental effects. And after the walrus become exhausted, the Gillam USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, has innovated the material which is called the rubberized cotton fabric rollers for ginning the seed cotton in the various seed cotton developed in the USA. Why? Because this particular walrus have been exhausted by the human being in the ginning plants. It is quite obvious in this topic, because this particular walrus, this has a very thin interfibrillary action, and this lint cotton adheres on the surface of the roller and continuously ginning the seed cotton, and this requires after 150 years the climate sensitivity factor alpha 0.5 degrees centigrade per watt per meter squared, and the net radiating force, sun's net radiating force 1.8 to 2.53 watt per meter squared, climate sensitivity factor 1.1 degree centigrade has increased as against the Paris Declaration. Now the temperature has increased, and that is why the various technological impacts have to sustain for a long time as per the Paris Declaration to limit 1.5 degrees centigrade. So for example, this particular walrus have been used in USA and UK, and later on they have banned because the walrus have exhausted. Totally the walrus have been exhausted in 1970. So Gillam in USA has innovated the alternative eco-friendly process for this walrus, which is called rubberized cotton fabric rollers. The one you are seeing here in the center one, this is called rubberized cotton fabric rollers. And this is a chrome composite leather rollers in our country, which are used in our India. Next, please. Next, please. Life cycle assessment for the various projects, plans, programs, legislative actions. Life cycle assessment means you have to assess the whole life cycle for the various products and services, hybrid life cycles, including recycling, composting, eco-friendly technologies, and the landfill technologies, etc. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So this is a synergistic poisoning which occur due to the cross-functional effects. Functional and cross-functional. Cross-functional and functional. Functional means a vertical approach for the management. Cross-functional means it is horizontal. And the particular one is the organizational planning and decision-making process, which include the 3 E's: engineering, economics, and environment. And the vertical approach is only engineering and economics. the environment is totally not concerned about the vertical product approach. Whereas in horizontal process approach management, we have the three concepts about engineering, economics, and environment. So that is why the various effects of the photochemical smoke in Los Angeles and the Donora air pollution disasters, Bhopal gas tragedy, all these need to be investigated because of the vertical and horizontal cross-functional and process approach management. Functional management and process management. Next, please. Next, please. The conceptual approach for the study and check focused on air quality, environmental impacts. The air quality includes the environmental quality. So environmental quality and quantity both are concerned about the proposed projects, and the description of the existing air quality settings and the air quality standards, the impact or the effect of prediction and assessment of the impact significance, and incorporation of the various mitigation measures with respect to the air quality, with respect to the water quality, and with respect to the land quality. LAW interlacer interactions. That is called 3 E's: engineering, economics, and environment. Next, please. The air quality is being measured, monitored, and controlled. The suspended particulate matter less than 10 microns, particulate matter less than 2.5 microns, particulate matter less than 1 microns, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, benzene, and chlorofluorocarbons, as well as the greenhouse gas, dangerous, poisonous greenhouse gas effects and the atmospheric constituents due to the various trifluoroethylene compounds which are being discharged from the various industrial estates from India, and the leather tanneries which are there, that has considerable poisonous effects on the vicinity. Next, please. The objectives for the research is to identify and study and mitigate the environmental problems, that is called environmental health impacts of the and present chrome rollers employed in cotton roller ginning industries, to design and develop eco-friendly non-chrome rubberized cotton fabric rollers and evaluate their performance with particular reference to environmental and techno-commercial aspects for the ginning industries. So the first one is the monitoring and measurement for the various environmental chromium pollution in cotton ginning industries. Second one is to study the various eco-friendly methods as already investigated by the GILM in USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, to avert the walrus, the animal effects on the climatic effects, climate impact and assessment effects, the change in weather conditions over a long period of time, the change in variations in the temperature, humidity, and other various weather parameters microscopically over a long period of time. So climate change and the climate control, both are concerned in this project. Apart from the economical and environmental aspects. So climate, environment, and the economics, 3 things are concerned in this project. Next, please. What is climate change and control? The change in weather conditions in an area over a long period of time, or change in weather trend, or change in general attitude of the weather conditions. Control means to the power to limit as well as regulate climate change as per the environmental pollution control standards. For example, you take alpha. Alpha means the climate sensitivity factor. 0.5 degrees centigrade per watt per meter squared, 0.6 degrees centigrade per watt per meter squared, and net radiating force, it is nearly 1.8 watt per meter squared per degree centigrade, 1.9 watt per meter squared per degree centigrade, 2.5 watt per meter squared per degree centigrade. So these two considerations are important in the climate control parameters. Next, please. Next, please. So this is the roller, and this is how the seed cotton is ginned in separating the lint and fiber. And the lint cotton absorbed into the chromium pollution. And in order to avoid the chromium pollution, the environmental friendly rollers are incorporated in these projects, programs, and legislative actions. Next, please. Next, please. So ginning industries which are used for the cotton ginning process to remove the lint cotton from the seed. Next, please. Next, please. The battery of cotton double roller ginning machines which are used in India to remove the lint cotton from the seed from the double roller ginning machines. Next, please. So this is the lint cotton obtained from the seed cotton. That is the ginning means it is a removal of the seed from the lint from the seed cotton. So lint separated and seed separated in this cotton double roller ginning machines. So roller is a very important element for the cotton ginning process. Roller is the very important element for the cotton ginning process. Presently, the roller is made up of chrome composite. Chrome means it is a continuous dust producing grinding and which have a considerable carcinogenic substance, cancer producing substance. And this is dust producing grinding. And the presently USA, UK do not use the walrus or the chromium rollers. They use the eco-friendly rollers, that is rubberized cotton fabric rollers in cotton ginning process. Next, please. Next, please. So seed in India, this is called DCH32. So it's called green color seed. So seed separated and lint cotton separated. So this is a fuzzy seed. You can see fuzzy lint cotton along with the seed. So it is a hybrid cottons, DCH32 in India, Karnataka cottons. So seed separated and lint separated. Next, please. Next, please. So lint cotton in baled 175 kilo of lint cotton, which is baled and which is sent to the spinning mills for further processing, like yarn processing, the fabric processing, weaving technology, knitting technology, and woven technology, non-woven technology. Next, please. So this is a laboratory roller gin, or called GRED, gin roller experimentation device. Gin roller experimentation device means the various kind of rollers or the various kind of materials, because my technology is material science and technology, and the various kind of materials which are being investigated, investigated in this particular project, like plastic, rubber, rubberized cotton fabric rollers, walrus, cork, white rubber with laminated cotton canvas, and the cork, various kind of washers. They are all being investigated. You see it's very simple in this roller, but it is not very simple as we think. It is a very, very highly sophisticated rubberized cotton fabric rollers, because it is holding the fiber, holding the cotton fiber and remove the seed from the seed cotton. It is called McCarthy principle, laboratory McCarthy principle. So that is why it is called a gin roller experimentation device. So a device has been designed and developed so that a particular kind of good appropriate material, eco-friendly material has been investigated by Gillam in 1970. Previously, the walrus animal roller was used, but it was outdated because animal is a animal skin is a sensitivity factor alpha, climate sensitivity factor alpha, 0.5 degrees centigrade per watt per meter squared. Is going on killing the roller, killing the walrus, and use the walrus material for this cotton ginning process. So it is not viable. It is not technically viable. It is not scientifically viable. It is not human-wise viable. So it is necessary to find the scientific alternative method, which is called rubberized cotton fabric rollers in this GRED, GRED, gin roller experimentation device. Next, please. Next, please. So this is a kind of washer which is used in the commercial chrome composite leather clad rollers, which are being used in the cotton ginning rollers presently. Presently also in India, various other countries like Pakistan, Africa, they are using the chrome composite leather clad rollers. It is a dust producing grinding action from 175 diameter, 175 mm diameter to 150 mm, 25 mm. This is continuously dust producing grinding and which has a carcinogenic effect. It is a dermal, number one is oral, dermal, absorption in the stomach and inhalation for the workers. So three routes. Three routes.
Der Herr S-Baumer, der hat da nie einen Schlag oder etwas. Muss
Three
schauen,
routes.
Ja, hier ist Dirk, hallo.
Carcinogenic substance acts on the
Yeah.
human being. One is dermal, another is absorption in the stomach, and third one is inhalation through the lungs. So three routes it follows in 120 degree apart. Next, please.
Ja.
Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So the rollers which are being used in the cotton ginning industries, chrome composite, leather clad rollers, they are being brewed and rollers in the cotton ginning industries in double roller ginning machines. Next, please.
Ja, nee, sie hat, das ist ja ein Schlägli, wie man so schön sagt, oder in der Schweiz ein Streifung, sagt man in der Schweiz. Oder medizinisch, TIA, transitorische ischämische Attacke. Das heißt, was sie brauchen, ist Blutverdünnung und Herzstärkung. Herzstärkung haben sie gesagt, also jetzt mal 3 Strophantin pro Tag und dann Ginkgo erhöhen.
But here it is 36,000 ppm. 36,000 ppm means it is nearly 360,000 ppm parts per million or mg per kg, which is more than the permissible limits. 0.5 ppm or 0.5 mg per kg and 36,000 ppm, that is 360,000 ppm of chromium. So which is nearly around 360,000 times more than the permissible limit as against the eco-friendly standards. So which has considerable greenhouse gas impacts. Yes or no? Greenhouse gas effects impacts. So that is why we require to study the greenhouse gas impact assessment. Greenhouse gas impact assessment, which is a systematic identification and evaluation of the potential greenhouse gas effects of the proposed projects, proposed plans, proposed programs, proposed the legislative actions with respect to the physical environment, chemical environment, biological environment, biochemical environment, and the cultural as well as the social economical environment of the total environment. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So these are all the various roller bearing data, right from 175 mm original dimension to 140 mm in 3 months season. In 3 months working for the machines and certain X quantity of the seed cotton being ginned as a lint cotton and seed separated. So these are all the roller bearing data. So these particular microscopic and macroscopic particles, that is reflectance, reflectivity, spectral reflectance, spectral absorptance, and spectral transmittance, and microscopically vibrational energy, interrelation energy, interaction energy, as per the Newton's, as per the energy law of conservations. And the results of the roller wearing data will be very helpful to redesign the perfect type of roller at par with the excellence of the walrus. Walrus should not be used because it has the climate sensitivity effect. But alternative materials have been innovated, have been researched and developed. New methods, new methods have been already incorporated by 1972 in USA, United States Department of Agriculture. Next, please. Next, please. There are various kind of rollers which are used, and the roller wearing and tearing rate have been investigated, systematically identified and evaluated for the potential environmental impacts for the proposed programs. Next, please. Next, please. Chromium toxicity effects on human organs. Why I have told is toxicity. Toxic effects means the pH is less than 1. pH is negative logarithm of hydrogen ion activity, which is less than 1. It is called hazardous acidic effects. And if pH is more than 13, less than 14, then it is called alkaline hazardous effects. Alkaline hazardous and hazardous acidic, both are it is the toxic effects. Why toxic means it is reactive, it is carcinogenic, it is mutagenic, as well as it is ignitability characteristics. 4 ignitability characteristics are there in the chromium toxicity effects on the human organs. What are the human organs? It is eyes and the nose, brain effects, neurological effects. Why I have incorporated in the first slide told about the psychological health impact assessment. Psychological health impact assessment is very important for the many health plans. Many the health plans, the environmental health plans. In my topic, it shows that because it has considerable neurological and brain effects, Alzheimer effects. That is why chromium toxicity effects on human organs have been cited in lungs, nose, occupationally health workers, and occupationally non-occupationally health workers. The chromium exposed workers working in mining areas, and the lead exposed workers, and the various other toxic substance, molybdenum, sulfur, nickel, and other toxic metals. They have the considerable impacts on liver, brain, gastrointestinal, and mutagenic effects, which are also prone to cancer. So that is why this particular slide shows the toxicity effects. Because of the pH, negative logarithm of hydrogen ion activity is less than 1 and more than 13. If less than 1 means it is a negative logarithm of hydrogen ion activity is less than 1. The negative logarithm of the hydroxyl ion activity is more than 13. Negative logarithm of hydroxyl ion activity is more than 13. pH and POH is equal to 14. Next, please. The study of chromium-based disease, as per epidemiological and evidences for the acute toxicity as well as chronic effects, that inclusive of the COVID-19. This is very much concerned to the COVID-19 also, because this is having acute as well as the chronic studies. The various chromium-based disease, nickel-based disease, and molybdenum-based disease, tungsten, as well as uranium workers working in mining areas, and the toxic effects have been systematically carried out by and there is no proper occupational health disease law in our country. There is no workman compensation law in our country. Why? Because there is no proper formulation of the occupational disease. 1923, we have formulated the workman compensation law, but there were no occupational health disease law. So that is why the particular study of chromium-based disease, as per the optimum, many people in the chromite mining in Orissa. See, Orissa in US, in India is a state, and this state is number 3 in the world, which is exporting the chromites, number 1 in the chromites. And this has a very good economical status for India, but it has adverse impacts on the corrosive atmosphere of the Orissa because of the climate sensitivity factor, alpha, as well as the net radiating force. So that is why the chromium is a rich chromium food rich in Orissa, but it has a very poor ecological status in Orissa. So that is why it is very much concerned about the Orissa state in our country to identify, evaluate the chromium impact assessment pollution, chromium impact assessment, chromium environmental impact assessment, which is a part of the environmental health impact assessment. So when I say that the environmental health impact for the certain health impact for certain plants, it is necessary to conduct the greenhouse gas impact assessment for the psychological impact assessment, physiological impact assessment for the projects. Next, please. Chromium level in dust levels. So maximum permissible limit is 50 ppm, and the permissible limit is only 0.1 ppm. 0.1, it is about 500 times more than the permissible limits. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. These are all the inside view of the machines, which are able to find the redesign of the new rollers, the eco-friendly technologies, in order to control the greenhouse gas impacts. Next, please. So this is a chromium specific dust emanated from the dust producing grinding CCLC rollers that are contaminated, the lint cotton as well as seeds. That is a poison number. This has a poison number. It is negative logarithm of lethal dose, 50% test organisms in kg per kg. Negative logarithm of lethal dose, 50% test organisms in kg per kg. And it is, for example, this kind of chromium pollution has nearly 4.1 poison number in kg per kg. 4.2 poison number in kg per kg. That is called a negative logarithm of LD50, lethal dose 50% test organisms in kg per kg. Chromium specific dust emissions, air pollution emission. So many workers get affected in our mining areas. Why? Because they are concerned to the cardiovascular effects. They are concerned about the heart disease, various kind of heart disease. Next, please. Directly it have effects on the heart. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So you can see this particular kind of slide. It is called bicyanosis disease. People, you can see the people working in this all this bicyanosis and cotton dust, and also various kind of other poisonous substances which are there in the seed cotton, like pesticides, insecticides, and other various greenhouse gas toxic emissions, as well as the fly ash. Fly ash means it is a cotton dust, and it is also various kind of the chromium pollution, and which has synergistic poisoning. Synergistic means it is combined effects, combined heating during the daytime, combined cooling during the night time. which is called the environmental health impacts. So exactly I would like to explain the environmental health impact means this one is called environmental health impacts because it has considerable greenhouse gas poison. That is negative logarithm of LD50, lethal dose 50% SR organisms of nearly 4.1 to 4.2 in kg per kg among the workers on dermal as well as the lung effects, lung cancer, oral, as well as the ingestion in the stomach. 3 routes are carried out. Ingestion in the stomach and among the lung effects, lung cancers, as well as the dermal poisoning, oral effects that are taken place among the physiological and psychological workers. They are getting affected too. One is called psychological as well as physiological. So we require to conduct the importance of this particular project is to highlight the physiological impact assessment for the projects as well as psychological health impact assessment for the projects. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. So here it is synergistic poisoning. It is called cross-functional, vertical as well as horizontal. Suppose if it is only vertical, it is called functional management. But generally in industries, the functional is not taken place. In industries, process also take place. Process means it is vertical as well as horizontal. So it is called 3E, engineering, economics and environment. But in functional means it is only engineering and economics take place. No environment is considered. In USA 1970 Policy Act, National Environmental Policy Act on Environment have been enacted after considerations of 3E, engineering, economics and environment. Because environment have been totally neglected in USA before 1970, before enactment of the Magna Carta for the environment. So after enactment of the Magna Carta for the environment in 1970, 3E was incorporated in United States National Policy Act on Environment. That is engineering, economics and environment, as well as other social factors. Next, please. Occupational health worker who is working in the cotton ginning industries in India, and he is exposed with the various kind of disease like bicyanosis disease and chromium pollution disease, and also he is also exposed with the various kind of other TB, tuberculosis. So an occupationally exposed worker in a cotton ginning mill. Next, please. Please. The women workers who are working in the cotton ginning industries, generally women workers in Factory Act 1948, they are prohibited. But many of the places in our country, due to the poor organizational impact assessment, the women workers and children less than 18 years are also working in cotton ginning industries. Children less than 10, children less than 15. And those aspects are there in the worker compensation law, worker factories rules, but still it is not implemented properly in cotton ginning industries. So occupational health impact assessment is totally neglected in India. But the USA and Canada, there are various stringent standards are available. For example, NISOH, National Occupational Health Laws, they are very stringent in USA. Occupational standards are available there. But in India, we don't have such kind of stringent occupational health disease laws, as well as the workman compensation law. Next, please. Next, please. So I have used the atomic absorption spectrophotometer. Atomic absorption spectrophotometer for the analysis of the chromium pollution in lint cotton, seed seed cotton, and other varieties, other samples, which are the products for the the seed cotton. Seed cotton, seed and separate, and lint separate. So lint cotton, the chromium pollution is carried forward from the chromium pollution. Chromium pollution have to be nullified by means of the various alternate rollers, as designed and developed by the Gillam 1970, who is the father of the cotton ginning in the world. Gillam is recognized USA, United States Department of Agriculture. He is considered by me especially, he is the father of cotton ginning process. Next, please. So this is a battery of cotton ginning process, and they are using the chrome composite leather thread rollers. I have investigated into only one roller because I have very short fund in my project. But they are all rest of the cotton ginning in India. They are being used to only the chrome composite leather thread rollers, even today also. Next, please. Next, please. Atomic hazard spectral code. They are the chromium 6. But most of the chromides which are being used, which has been already provided in the table, as against the natural chromium of 0.1 ppm. 0.1 ppm and 1000 ppm. How many times it is more? It is 10,000 times more than the permissible limits. Next, please. Next, please. So these are the various contamination levels. That is total chromium, environmental standards, source contamination, bioavailability, chrome composite leather rollers, grooving point and ginning point, the various products like lint cotton, spun yarns, woven fabrics, cotton seeds, edible oil, oil cake, linter, including linter. The products which are concerned to the for our interest, common day-to-day interest. So any contamination, any foreign matter other than the field originating trash is the problem. Any contamination, foreign matter other than the field originating trash, especially the cotton, is a problem. Next, please. So the noise pollution and RSPM, respirable suspended particulate matter. RSPM means less than 10 microns, which goes inside the lungs and causes the bisonosis disease among the workers. So cotton dust, you may see the flies, various flies which are available here and which are being measured and monitored in this kind of gravimetric samplers. And the gravimetric sampler we use to analyze how much kind of the fly ash goes inside. Fly ash means it is a cotton dust, because which is prone to the cancer as well as the bisonosis. Synergistic poisoning among the workers. Synergistic means it is augmenting. Augmenting means 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. 5 pollutants which are added among the workers and goes inside the lungs. Not only lungs, it is also goes to the dermal as well as ingestion in the stomach. Next, please. Please. So how the sheet, the flow of the systematic identification of the environmental health impact assessment. Next, please. Next, please. EHIA. You can see this particular kind of pollutant which has considerable impacts on the brain damage. The people get affected due to the various kind of pollution on the brain. Brain effects, neuro effects, brain Alzheimer and various kind of the neurons cells get affected due to the the chromium pollution among the workers. acute toxicity as well as chronic toxicity. Next, please. 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 Gene roller investigation device. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. This is a new type of roller which is made up of rubberized cotton fabric rollers. After constant innovations, after constant systematic innovations, the chromium roller have been replaced with the rubberized cotton fabric rollers. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. The engineering drawing for the machines. Next, please. The roller bearing data, eco-friendly roller as well as the conventional type of rollers. Eco-friendly roller means the rubberized cotton fabric rollers, the greenhouse gas impact assessment, and the chrome rollers, which is the constant dust producing grinding actions. Next, please. These are all the innovations, step-by-step study, which has been undertaken by me in industries for the development of the rubberized cotton fabric rollers technologies. Some are failed, some are successful, some are partially successful, and some are not partially successful. So they have been photographed and microscopically, macroscopically, they are analyzed in magnetic apparatus. And the wear and tear study has been carried out. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. These are the new type of washers which are designed and developed as per the state-of-the-art technology. Next, please. A new type of rollers which are being designed and developed as per the state-of-the-art technology. Yes, please. It's engineering drawing for the state-of-the-art technology. Engineering drawing for the state-of-the-art technology. Next, please. Noise level has been considerably reduced in this new type of rollers. Why? Because the number one is material composition. Chromium is the metal, and this metal has considerable impacts due to the dust producing grinding. Whereas the rubberized cotton fabric rollers, they are not metal. They are non-metal. They are polymers. Polymer. That is why this particular kind of technology is successful in interdisciplinary technology, because interdisciplinary means one type of technology is depend on the other type of technology, like rubber technology, white rubber technology, leather technology, and cotton ginning technology, cotton spinning technology, and so on. Because here there are two technologies you appreciate. Number one is cotton ginning technology is there. Another is you will see the rubberized cotton fabric technology. So these two technologies have combined effects on the output of the lint cotton as well as the quality of the lint cotton. Quality means the degree of excellence, how the machine is able to produce your output. That is called lint cotton as well as seed. The output means it is a quantity parameter. It is 40 kilo of lint cotton per hour. And the lint cotton has so many kind of parameters like micro NR value, 2.5 mm staple length, yarn parameters, yarn characteristics, fabric parameters, die catching properties, woven parameters, etc. Next, please. It is successfully lint cotton. It is totally free from chromium pollution. It is totally free from any kind of pollution. And it is 100% perfect. I can say we cannot guarantee 100%, but at least we can assure quality assurance, total quality management, TQM, total quality management. Successfully, the quality has been implemented. The degree of excellence with the international standards, ISO, India International Standards for International Organization for Standardization 9000, Quality Management System Standards, ISO 14,000 standards, ISO Environmental Management System Standards, ISO Occupational Health Safety Standards, System Standards are met here. Three types of major standards like quality management system, the environmental management system, and occupational health safety system. So now here I have discussed mostly, I have innovated mostly on the occupational health system standards, but of course it is also interdisciplinary with the quality management as well as the environmental management system standards, EMO, QMS, and occupational health safety system standards. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Data for the engineering analysis of eco-friendly cotton and chromium contamination lint. So we have two categories. One is called eco-friendly lint cotton, that is greenhouse gas emission impact controlled technology. Another is non-greenhouse gas impact assessment. It is non-greenhouse gas because it is adverse impacts. That's called chromium contamination lint. So greenhouse gas impact assessment, it is population, affluence, technology, environment, and the sustainability factor, where the sustainable development has been incorporated there. The development that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the future generations in order to meet their own needs. So sustainable seed cotton development, sustainable Alzheimer's disease, sustainable brain effects, sustainable neurological parameters, all these things are incorporated. So that is what we call sustainable development. Next, please. Next, please. These are the various yarn parameters, fiber technological parameters, fabric technological parameters of cotton technological laboratories. Central Institute for Research on Cotton Technology in India, where I have worked 7 years. So I have investigated the lint cotton as well as the fabric as well as the yarn parameters, die catch properties, and I have documented in this particular slides.
Sorry to interrupt, Dr. Iyer. Could you wind up quickly, please? Other speakers are waiting for their.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, please.
Can you go to last slide, madam? Yeah. Next, please. So investigations have been taken place. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Investigations. All our research investigations are going on. Next, please. Next, please. Here, partially eco-friendly, partially non-eco-friendly. Partially greenhouse gas emission control technology, partially no greenhouse gas emission control technology. Next, please. The economics have been worked out. Engineering economics plus environmental economics and social economics impact assessment. So we call environmental health impact assessment, environmental impact assessment, social impact assessment, and economical impact assessment have been carried out in this particular slide and documented here. So what is the cost? It is nearly 20 rupees. And presently, what is the cost? It is maybe 75 rupees, which is 10 times more than the price of the one washer. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Can you go to last slide? Conclusions. So in this particular project, in this particular type of live project as well as the successful venture, which has been research and development put forth for the past 7 years, it is found out that chromium pollution in cotton ginning industries have to be looked, but it is not looked because it is overlooked by the many industries, by the policy authorities, industrial authorities, politicians. It is also overlooked by the research and development personnel. Because cotton ginning is a method which is undertaken in the generic stations, but the textile industries are undertaken in the cities. So the cotton ginning and the textiles both are not taken place in integrated manner. Next one is the research and development based on this particular PowerPoint or based on for the past few years where I have worked in Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Indian Council of Agriculture Research for the past 10 years. I have found that this needs lot of again some studies and which need the scientific updation of the scientific data like chromium pollution in cotton ginning industries. Then what is the present rollers? What are the various disease health effects, environmental health effects due to this particular type of rollers? Because many workers working in these industries, they get affected due to the environmental health impacts, especially psychological health impacts, physiological health effects. They get affected with the various kind of, the health effects. So that is why we need to conclude that particular type of rollers which need to be developed in these industries. Not like developing. How long you will be developing? See, so many other technologies we are talking about, the artificial intelligence, ISO 14,000, ISO 9,000, but still some of the industries, still they are developing, underdeveloping only. Still they are not even moving ahead. So such kind of, the technologies, or we can call it greenhouse gas effects have to be identified, mitigated. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Recommendations. So what I would like to recommend is this particular technology have to be upgraded. Next, please. So this particular presentation will be again, again placed before the authorities in Singapore, 9th edition for the Global Congress on Plant Biology as well as the Biotechnology, which is being organized by the Magnus Group LLC, Chicago, USA, for the great philosophers and philanthropists. I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to present my paper, and for the patience hearing for more than one and a half hour. Thank you very much, madam.